Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorials brought to you by Photoshop Elements Custom Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in with today's poster. Wanted to be able to change the background of this image. And so there are several ways to do it. And if you're using anything that uses masking or the magic tool, it's not going to work very well. And I'm going to show you why. The colors of the portion we want to get rid of is too close to the colors that we need to cut out. So let's say if we set the magic tool tolerance of 75 and we go ahead and click in here, do you see what's happening when I hit delete? It's getting rid of everything. As a matter of fact, the reason why it's white, let me go ahead and undo that, is that we forgot to unlock the photo. So let's go ahead and unlock the photo first. Anyway, 75% was way too much. Let's try this at 25% tolerance. And that's a lot closer, but look what's happening. It's cutting into the shirt. See that? We don't want that. Once again, let's go ahead and undo that and change that to 15%. Click it in here, and now we're getting closer. But now there's an opposite problem, is that we're getting part of the shirt here, and down here we're not getting enough. And what you can do is continue by grabbing more by holding the shift, and you see there's a little plus underneath the grabber there. So if I grab this piece right there, it grabbed that. But now we want to grab all this down here, but not include the fence. So if I hold the shift down and click in here, you see what happens. It still is not grabbing enough of the fence. It's almost impossible. That's just not going to be very conducive. Anyway, the magic tool I don't think is the right tool for this. And we're just going to have to do some manual labor. I know it's a lot of elbow grease using the eraser, but that's just what you need to do for this photo. And it's not that much anyway. So if I take the eraser, come down here to brushes, and grab a soft brush, and let's make it a size of about, let's say, 5 point. And let's go ahead and zoom in on the image so that we get really close to what we want to cut out. If I can click here, I'm going to do a shift click. So I'll click once here, and I'll come to the other end over here, and hold down shift and click again. Boom. Now if I come out, zoom out a little bit, and you can see that line is perfect. It's a lot better than what the magic tool was going to give us. I'll do the same thing up here. Click, hold down the shift, and click. It does a straight line. It's soft, just like the original photo is. Come down here and then just draw this out by hand. And it's okay if it's not perfect, because the audience will never know what's missing. Just get it as close as you can. Since we're cutting the person out, it's okay to cut a little bit into the shirt, just slightly. This way you won't get any reflections from the background. Just like that. So now we just grab the polygon tool and we just cut this out. Boom, boom, piece of cake, boom, and just cut in between what we erased, making sure not to touch either side. Come across over here. I'm going to double click on the end. I'm going to zoom out to show you what happens as soon as I hit delete. Boom. There is a perfect cutout of this portion. When I zoom in, you'll see it's actually nothing left to complain about. Let's go ahead and do the same with the rest of these holes that we need to cut out. Now when we get to the bottom here, close to where the grass is starting, we can actually pick a larger brush. So I'll go from 5 to 20 and just build this up a little bit right here on the edge here. Kind of meld this away, not to get any of the leg. As soon as I get away from the body, I can go to a bigger brush to like a 50. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what's happening. Because whatever's going to be in that background, we want it to dissolve into what the background is going to be, whether it's going to be sand or more straw, we don't know yet. Once you got that cut out, then you go to the polygon and just cut everything out. I'll pull out a little bit and hit delete. Boom, and there it is. Do each section the same way. Once we've cut everything out with the polygon, just hit delete, and there we go. Now here's the last piece that we're going to cut out. Now honestly, even though that I sped up the video, taking these portions out between the eraser and the polygon tool literally took 10 minutes. That's all it took to cut out the background. And look how sharp that is. You can't get that with any other tool to get this nice sharpness. And I'm not talking about really sharp because we used a soft tool to actually leave a little bit of softness so it looks realistic and not fake. Now let's go ahead and consider what kind of background we want. So the process of trying to find a new background for this photo, we want to have to consider the angle of the photo where it was taken. It's obviously not taken from the ground up, and it's not taken from, 10 feet down. It's literally at eye level. This is probably about 5-6 feet up. So we want to find something similar. So over here in Google, I just did a Google search for outdoor horse arena and then hit images. Now we can scroll down and see what we got here. We got different possible images. This is probably too far, and this fence here is probably too close and it wouldn't look very good. This is probably too high and far away. This is way too high. This photo is taken from like the top of the house height, which wouldn't work. This one's too low. And coming down here, this looks kind of nice, maybe a little portion of this one. So when I click on that, I have a choice of different photos that are similar, like maybe this one. Look at that. Let's try this little piece. This actually might look good with this. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and do Save Image As, and then I'll just go ahead and save it to my desktop, hit Save. And let's go ahead and look for one more, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit further, and this looks kind of interesting. When I click on that, I'll go ahead and right click, and our last choice, and let's go ahead and scroll down for one more choice. Hey, look at this. This might look good, portion of this. So let's go ahead and right click that and hit save. Now we can close out our browser and go back to Photoshop Elements. Let's go ahead and bring in those backgrounds that we had gotten from before, and I'll drag them in. And as soon as I let go, all three backgrounds pop in. Here's 1, 2, and 3. So let's go ahead and bring those into our current project by selecting one, then left click on the image and drag up to the tab that we want to take it to. Then we bring that same icon down while we're still holding the left mouse. As soon as I get up here, I can let go of the mouse button, and there's the image. It's a lot smaller, but we'll fix that afterwards. Let's do the same thing with the next one, which is going to be this image. I'll go ahead and drag it up, drag it back down, and it says it won't do it because it's a PNG. Let's go ahead and change that PNG into an image. How do we do that? We come up here to its layer, we unlock it, and hit OK. That makes it into an image that we can use. So now I can drag it up and back down into this new image and let go, and that's all it takes. Go to the third one. This one I think is also a PNG. You'll know by dragging it in. So as soon as I let go, there's the third image. Now let's go ahead and take our background image of our cowboy and bring that to the front by dragging it to the very top. Whatever's on the top is going to be in the front. Take one of the backgrounds. I'll turn off the other two and try this one first. And I'm going to go ahead and lock the cowboy by hitting the lock button. Come to the first background, and let's go ahead and enlarge that. I'll zoom out for a second so I can enlarge it to the size to fit the whole photograph, which would be somewhere around here. If I want to bring the background gate higher or lower, you can enlarge or make it smaller, anything you want to do here. So like right around there, it might look good, but look, when I enlarge it and bring it back further like this, it starts looking more realistic. Look at that. So you're looking at the angle the background was taken from, depending on the foreground. So something like this actually might be a good placement for that. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and take the cropping tool and crop this whole image, and I'll do a final crop afterwards, and hit OK, and that'll allow this background to be just the right size. Let's turn that off and grab our second choice and go ahead and enlarge that to fit the background until we get something that we like. See, you can fill the background like this, but it looks unnatural. You know why? Because the background photo was taken from a lower angle. So this person looks way too big in that spot. So what you'd have to do is zoom out and enlarge in the background like this, and now it looks proper. See that? That's not bad right around there. And we like that. I'll hit OK. Turn that off and grab our third choice of background and go ahead and enlarge that one And look at how pretty this is looking. This is really awesome. You can actually, if you want, leave the horse in, but it's not going to look that realistic. I'm going to go ahead and pull it over. I wish the horse wasn't there so we could use that fence too, but that's okay. Let's bring this down here and enlarge it until it starts looking really natural. So now what I can do is take the cropping tool and do a finer crop of the actual photo, and that'll be something like right around here. So now I'm just going to hit OK, and now we got our new backgrounds. So here's background number 1, here's background choice number 2, and here's background choice number 3. You take your choice, whichever one you like. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.